Time on Thursday morning with us, and we're going to talk a little bit about culture and have some conversations about how we can help you with your business. Today, I want to make sure that we kind of lay the groundwork on where we're going to be today and what we're going to be talking about. Today, the journey looks like we're going to have this information meeting. It's going to be about 45 to 50 minutes. We'll leave some time at the end to have a conversation and some questions and answers. And I really want to make sure that you guys are present to the conversation today. Don't worry about taking notes or recording. I'm going to send you the link after so you can actually re-record and review it again and have a real good listen to it at that point. We're going to go through a lot of material. This is actually a condensed version of our one-day conversation that we usually have. So, get ready to get some information from us today. After this, if you're interested in having a further conversation, we'd love to have a one-on-one call with you to talk about it a little bit further. Then after that, as we proceed further, it's a 90-minute presentation with you and your leaders in the team, and then we actually execute the process. So again, be present, have some fun. Please ask questions. We've got our moderator here who's going to be managing the questions, and we'll get back to you near the end of the conversation today. We are going to talk about a little bit more about our process near the end of the slideshow, so stay tuned for that as well. Why do we do this? Well, we do this to inspire people to achieve where they want to be so they get where they want to be, where they want to go. We want to make sure that you have an unbelievable, great experience. Our job here is to help you bridge the gap between where you are and where you actually want to be. What does that mean? And we're going to go through that today. A little bit about us. I'm Licky Lavji, co-founder of the Dante Group. I've been in business for about 25 years. I ran a successful IT company, moved over to this realm of business to help businesses grow their businesses. As you can imagine, being in business for that long, you go through the ups and downs in the cycle. We learned a few things about it. We wanted to make sure that we share what our findings are and let you not make the same mistakes. And then we have Conrad Talk here. Say a couple things.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I'm a consultant here with the Dante team, and my background is in the personal and professional development industry, leading seminars for that, and working in communication, management consulting, and partnering up with Dante. My main focus is in culture, values, mission, vision, and management communication, employee communication, and that side of the business operations.
Our intention for today is to really walk through where, oops, let me go back here one sec. Our intention is to really provide you with value to grow your business to where you want to be. We're going to showcase everything you need to do and how we can implement these items to take you to where you want to go. We're going to go through a lot of content today. Again, ask questions. Be open. Whatever that question is, we'll get to it at the end of the conversation. We also use a methodology called EOS methodology. That's from the book Traction by Gino Wickman. We'll give you a link on that book. If we haven't read it, please grab that book and have a look at it. It definitely is going to help you out to get to where you want to be. Our team, I introduced Conrad. We have two other consultants with us, Saima and Brittany. That's the internal Dante team. Our circle looks like we have our consultants, outside consultants, inside consultants. We have our partners that do profiling for us. We're also follow the Go Givers philosophy from Bob Berg. That's about providing value for nothing in return. We're going to be having a future webinar on just sales and culture based on sales. We have our outside family, which is a company like Spark. They work with the culture within the company as well and personal development. Then we have our focus is also to bring value to the outside world that we work with. We have an MSP roundtable that we actually had an event last night, which worked out really well. We had a lot of engagement. We belong to a number of different associations. I chair the BCIT Alliance in BC to build mini alliances between like-minded people. Our giving back, we give back to the Aga Khan Foundation Walk, the Cancer Walk. We're involved in the outside community, just like we would be involved in here as well. So now, let's get into why we're actually here today. So we have a lot of business owners on the call today. You can all relate to everything that's coming on the screen right now. You know, we're dealing with putting out fires on a basis. We're dealing with we don't have enough time. Cash flow is low. How do I find the right people? You know, what's work-life balance look like? Our profits are really low. You know, I've got a family business. How do I deal with that? You know, I don't get along with my partner. My partner is a jerk. What do I do? How do I deal with that? So let's talk about what happens at this point. You know, here's your business. Your business is at the end. So your entire business is everything that you guys do. You have hundreds of issues that you deal with on an ongoing basis. We're going to really break this down into 6 key components. And those 6 key components are your vision, which is your core focus, your core value, what you really stand for. The people. As you know, without the people, things don't work well for you. So we're going to focus a little bit on people. We're going to talk about what a data structure looks like for you, having a scorecard that you can really relate to, figuring out what the issues are, what the issues that you're dealing with on an ongoing basis, what's in your way, the processes, and at the end of the day, it's the traction, making sure that you're on track with your current goals and your big goals. You want to talk a little bit about the VTO?
Yeah, absolutely. So just slow it down a little bit. You know, our main focus here, just so you guys, is that there's a value provided for you, and we're going to go over these 6 key components that Licky was talking about. And the purpose here is that most of you, I assume, on this call are business owners, or at least the top management of a company. And as Licky stated before, there's all those issues that come up. Our main access point to helping you to empowering your business, making a difference in your business, are the 6 components, and all these issues that you're dealing with can either be alleviated, resolved, or managed if you're working on having the 6 key components of your business be at 80% or higher. The goal is 100% in all those 6 areas that Licky showed, but you know, if you're operating at a high level in all these areas, you can eliminate, alleviate, or at least be able to manage some of these things and be in a better place of not being in survival, putting out fires and dealing with all these problems on a regular basis. So the point of today's session, if you're still with us after we talked about ourselves at the beginning, you're still here and you're still seeing, okay, there's what we're doing. The point is to go over these 6 areas, to give you an overview of them. We're going to spend the majority of the time on the vision section. A good half of the call will be on the vision section because it's the foundation of everything, of all the other sections. Once you have the vision section nailed down, the people, the data, the issues, and the other sections are going to fall into place, and they'll be a lot easier to manage. But once we have that vision section, once we have that, then the other ones are going to be a lot easier to process. So we're going to spend a lot of time on the vision section, and hopefully at the end of the call, you'll be able to take this information away and start applying it directly to your business. Maybe get the book, start reading that, applying it to your business. Maybe talk to us about how this all applies to your business, how to implement these areas into your business, and to create that kind of stability foundation in your company. Okay, so that's the intention. All right. And we're going to get right into the vision section.
Awesome. Thanks, Conrad.
All right. So talking about the vision section, there's 8 common questions that we go through to create a solid foundation for your business. And that all starts with the core values question. And once we go through the core values, we'll talk about your core focus, which is your mission and vision. Then we'll talk about your 10-year target, your marketing strategy, your 3-year picture, your 1-year plan, your quarterly rocks, and your issues list. And again, some of these things you may read into, like the marketing strategy, the 1-year plan. This doesn't go into a specific detail of everything that you need to implement in your marketing plan, like what you're doing with Google AdWords or Facebook or whatnot. It's an overview that gives you the broad picture to know, like, this is the direction you're heading, this is the overview plan.
Excellent. So the slide before this was talking about the VTO. We sent a link out to you to print off the Vision Tracker organizer sheet. Have a look at it. Don't get too caught up on it right now. Just, we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but at least you understand what the VTO stands for. There's 2 pages to it. It breaks it down into the 6 components I talked about. The first page is the vision component of it. The second page is the traction component of it. If you've got it, refer to it. If you don't have it, we'll send you the link again at the end and have a look at it at that point. So, core values.
Yeah. So when we talk about core values, and I'm going to be harping on this for a while, and it's critical to know. Now, some of you on the call may already have core values and you've already created them. The question then you'll be asking yourself is, how well are those core values living inside of your business? So you may already have created core values, but are they alive and well with your employees and staff? And do they know them? Are they living them? Are they feeling them? Do they understand what the core values are, what they truly mean? And have they not bought into them, but are they those core values? And so if you're listening from the place of like, oh, I have core values, well then listen from, are they implemented in your team? And do you need to do more work to have those implemented in your team? If you don't have a series of core values that are clearly articulated, that everybody understands and knows the definition of, this is the first critical component that we create, is creating these core values. Now you may ask, well, why is this so important when you're dealing with cash flow problems, when you're dealing with employees, when you're dealing with all your business issues? Well, this again is the foundation of it all. If your company doesn't have an underlying culture, an underlying feeling of what do we value here, you're going to lose out on having the right kind of employees, interacting properly with each other, interacting properly with the customers, and creating that kind of team that you want to be the face to the customers to work with on a day-to-day basis, right? So without the core values, you're really missing out on the first step of a foundation of a culture that builds success.
So core values, again, they're people write them on the walls and they look at it and they read them off sometimes, but it's not even about that. It's not about memorizing what core values are. It's about just living them on an ongoing basis. You should be able to understand what core values are, live them, be able to hire based on core values, fire based on core values, as well as hire and engage your customers based on your own core values. And one of our core values is having fun. So here's a little bit of fun for you people. Here's our gut. Here's what the actual gut stands for, right? Our core values are to be happy, have fun, to make a difference in the world of other people. We really want to make sure that today we're making a difference to you, no matter what it is. We want to give you the value. We're about perseverance. We're about passion. A little bit about health. The gut doesn't show health, but our focus is to make sure that gut changes. So we hire based on health, and we're not saying that you've got to be healthy. What we say is that we make it a healthy environment to allow you to do what you want to do about your health. Open and honest is really key to us. Where that comes in from is, and most of you guys can relate to this, if you're not open and honest, water cooler talk happens. People start gossiping. People start talking about what's happening, what's wrong. But if you're open and honest, you can have a conversation, a direct conversation, is to say, hey, look, we had a great meeting yesterday, but this is where you went wrong. I want to make sure that we fix this. How do we resolve this? Or, listen, what's going on? You've been sick way too often. Is there a personal problem you need to talk about? What's going on? Let's talk about that. Lastly, do what's right. People say integrity. Integrity is such an overly used word these days, but it's there. It's everybody's core values, and it should be there, but really expand on what that means. We'll do the right thing no matter what the cost is. It has to be the right thing for the customer, and it has to be the right thing for us. If we feel that the customer just wants a low budget solution, we will not recommend it. We'll make the recommendation to find somebody else who can help them with it if we don't feel that's the right solution. So do the right thing no matter what that looks like.
Great.
Core focus.
Yeah. So the core focus, as we break it down, is once you get your core values for your company, what is the vision and mission of your company? And again, if you're listening to this like you already have it, that's fine. This will reinstate the importance of the vision and mission that you already have, and how putting it into your company and the importance of that. So if you already have it, that's fine. It's just making sure that we can create the value of this, because this is where the whole team aligns behind something, and you create cohesion and an actual team out to create a common goal, right? As we can see in many businesses, if you have employee turnover problems, or you have just things not getting done the way you want to, you often have a lot of rogue agents doing what they like, going where they want to go, providing the service they want to provide, versus a common goal, a common purpose that unites everybody together, brings everybody together, and has them focus on one thing. So the way that we define it is vision is the outcome that you're out to create in your company. It really is, what is the impact you're out to produce in the world? How are you wanting to leave people on this planet? How are you wanting to impact the world? What is the legacy that you want to give? What is the outcome that your company's here to produce? And it's not the financial level. Your vision isn't like, oh, this much money or this impact. Those are goals. It's more, what is the philosophical, what is the heart saying that you guys are producing and providing for people? What's that outcome? Now, your mission, on the other hand, is your access to producing the outcome. It's the way that you get to where you're going. So here at Dante, our vision is to create unbelievably great experiences for people, so that when you're working in your business, it's a great experience. Your company is having a great experience and operating, and everything is just like, and all our processes are designed to have your business operate such that you love coming to work and your employees love coming to work, and it's a great experience working there. And we're providing that so that you have that great experience at your workplace. And that's our goal, is to implement what we have so that your experience of work is a great experience. Our access point to getting there, our mission, is to bridge the gap. To bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be. If you're on this call, you probably have a commitment to growth, stability, creating a better business. So our mission is to bridge the gap from where you are currently to where you're wanting to be, and to implement what we need to implement to get you there, right? So we have a clear vision and a clear mission, and we bring that to every conversation. And we have people in our team that are aligned behind that same thing. So the reason I share that is not to talk about us, but it's to bring that same level of what is your vision, what is your mission, and if you don't know it, get it clear, articulate it, get it down to your team, and make sure everybody's aligned behind that, create that cohesion, and have somewhere where you're headed together.
Yeah, and the title says core focus, and we've heard of the same as mission, vision, hedgehog concepts. There's lots of terms out there, but let's just focus on the word core focus. What are you really focusing on? And once you have that design, you're not going after the shiny object. I call it the shiny object syndrome, where we're all these visionaries out there where we're looking for the next best thing for the company, and that's great ideas. But if it's not within your core focus, let's revisit why we're looking at it. Is that really going to make a difference for us? Is that just a short-term fix for long-term pain, or is it actually going to solve some of our issues long-term? Is it going to provide the focus that we want for our customers? So that, once you have your core values, your core focus, and your team is aligned on that, and it's aligned from the owners right down to middle management, right down to the newest hire. Your newest hire will be aligned because your core values and core focus were based on an interview process. So you've got to make sure that everybody's aligned. And if you look at this VTO, that's going to help you get there to do that. Now, once all that's done, we start talking about what's your 10-year target. What's your BHAG? BHAG stands for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. That's typically a 10 to 30-year goal, depending on your life cycle, where you're at. What everyone is working towards and is actually aligned to get there. And it's a statement that you're inspired by. If you look at JFK, land a man on the moon by the end of this decade and return him safely. Bill Gates, Microsoft. This is one of those older ones. It says a computer on every desk and in every home. These are really high achievable goals. Are they going to get there? They're not sure, but they're inspired by it. They're working towards that on a daily basis. They wake up. That's what they're about. Where are we at today? What do you want to do as far as your business goes? What is it you want to grow into? So look at what your 10-year big goal is. Don't just take where you're at today and multiply it by 10. That's not a BHAG. That's a realistic goal that you'll get there. BHAG, and again, when we go to the next few phases, you'll start looking at the 3-year and the 1-year. Please keep in mind that this plan that we're talking about, the BHAG and the 10-year, 3-year goals, it's like building a house. You build, the foundation takes the hardest part, the longest part. Then to get to the end, it's actually a real fast, the results very fast. So don't look at it from multiplying 1, 2, 3 years times. Okay, we're going to talk about the marketing strategy a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. As you may have noticed in this first sheet of the traction sheet that we sent you, a large portion of it is to really identify who you are and what you're all about. As business owners, you can get really focused in the products and services that you provide and not have the big picture of what's behind all that. Who are you as a company? What are you about? Where are you going? What's the big end goal that you're actually out to accomplish? Because we're in the minutia of the day-to-day. We're in the, this and this and this and this that we're dealing with. And we lose that background conversation. And that's part of the reason why we're so just going on and on about this particular portion, because this is the portion that most businesses don't focus on. They don't spend a lot of time on because it's just not the pragmatic day-to-day issues, right? However, articulating this and having this down and bringing this up on a daily, weekly basis in your company will create that kind of culture where people have a reason to be there besides the paycheck, besides it's what they can do. They feel like they're making a difference, providing a value. There's something underneath their work that isn't just a job. So when we talk about the marketing strategy, the marketing strategy here is, like I said, not a detailed plan of how you're going to acquire new customers, more of who are you? And I define it like this: is if you don't have a statement, the 10-second elevator pitch that says, we are blank, that provide blank to blank, then you need to sit down and get that out right now so that every one of your employees and yourself can go into a meeting and say, oh yeah, we're this company. Oh yeah, what do you guys do? And can you say, we are this, that provide this to these kind of people, and have it very be clear of like, what is your pitch? And does your whole company know who you are, who you service, what you provide? So that's a critical component. That's a 10-second pitch to write for yourself. So you can take that away and do that, in your business today and do that work. The other part of the marketing strategy is defining your unique characteristics. What sets you apart from everybody else? And do you know that? If you're in the IT field, what are the 3 things that set you apart? And that is how you can sell yourself to somebody else and say, well, why should I hire you? Then you go, well, these are my 3 unique things that I provide. I personally invested, we have this, and then that separates you from the rest of the crowd. And it's critical to have 3 uniques so that you can separate yourself from your competition. So if you don't have that, do that. And then lastly, in that, you want to have a guarantee and a proven process. What's your guarantee for your deliverables? Do you guarantee, if you don't provide value, we don't charge you? That's what we guarantee. So if our meeting doesn't provide value, you don't have to pay, right? What is your guarantee? And then what's your proven process? Again, inside the marketing strategy, this is who we are. This is what makes us unique. This is our guarantee. And here's our process. Here's our success process. It's a proven process that says, when we do this, when we go here, here, and here, you get the outcome you desire. It's a proven process. And all of this is a strategy that will allow you to sell your business better and know how your business differentiates itself in the marketplace. So, just quickly today, you can go through this and try to figure that out for yourself and be that much more clear in your next sales meeting of why they should hire you and what makes you different from everybody else.
Perfect. And I was going to add a little bit to that the target market is huge. Create a niche that you're really good at. And the way you do that is let's start looking at your existing customer base. What's working for you? Who is your best customers out there? Why are they the best customers? What's your relationship with them? What market are they in? What are you doing so well for them? And maybe if you've got a handful of those, that might be a niche market. But look a little bit deeper at why what's working. Then also look at what's not working for you. What customer bases aren't working for you, and why aren't they working? And start looking at those things. And your biggest thing right now is your guarantee and your proven process. This gives you your clear go-to market strategy. Again, it's not I'm going to do Facebook training or LinkedIn, whatever that is. This is a big picture marketing strategy. Okay.
Again, we're going through this very quickly. Hopefully you're finding it valuable and not boring or anything like that. The point is to get through the points so that, you could take something away.
And, we're spending a lot of time on this section. I know you're looking at the clock, it's 10:30. We've only done one pie out of the 6. We're going to move a lot faster now, but we're very, our core value is passion. We're very passionate about this section of it. The vision, the core values, the BHAGs. Without this foundation, nothing else will work. There's not going to have a business plan that's going to execute. And a lot of us are here today because we're in that possible moment that we want to look at what's not working for us. So come back and relate yourselves to this. Be present to this conversation right now and see, is this where you're at right now? And if you're not, let's get you back here. And if you are already past this, now the next section will make a lot of sense to you.
Yeah, we'll laser through.
Yeah. So once you've got the marketing strategy, your big BHAG, we start getting into what does your next 3 years look like? And I call it 3 HAG. This is a highly achievable goal. And then the 1 HAG, which is, again, highly achievable goal. These are goals that are attainable. Achievable, attainable, you can reach them and you will reach them. You've got the right people, you've got the focus and the culture, it's all possible. Okay. You want to talk about that at all?
No, it's pretty basic here. As we go in the 3 year and the 1 year, this isn't stuff that is new, but it's obviously it's critical to have goals, have financial targets, have revenue targets, and then have a picture of what that looks like. So not only are you setting a goal for revenue or customer acquisition or products sold, but you're also setting a picture of what does that look like? How big is our office space? How many new employees do we have? Are we implementing a new marketing strategy in 3 years or in 1 year? Are we changing our uniforms up? Really painting a picture for yourself so you have a nice, clear understanding of what you're up to and what those goals are. And the thing I want to add to the 3 and the 1 year, this is now then shared with your team and everybody's behind your goal setting. So one of the big mistakes that companies make is they're not open. I'm sure none of you make that mistake, but they don't share what the big goals are, what the revenue goals are, what the projections for employees are. And that's a big missing, because then your whole team isn't behind the growth of your company. They don't really get invested into, well, how big do we want to be in 3 years and 1 year and 10 years? They're just kind of there for work. And the more that you share this stuff, the more that you get a buy-in from your team, the more they're invested into employee attrition and customer acquisition, and the less work that you have to do as a business owner, because you got a team working with you on these things.
Yeah, and one of the things that we mentioned earlier is that this is a conversation that we're having with you as almost a one-on-one. But this entire worksheet, this entire process, is with your entire leadership team. One person can't do this. Some of you are small companies. That's okay. Get other people involved. That's the only way you're going to grow. You're going to be able to get other engagement happening. Your core vision, your core focus is going to get passed on. You're going to bridge that gap. Just a couple more things about the 3-year and the 1-year picture. On that VTO, it says, what's your future date? So when I say that, look at what it's going to look like on February 23rd, 2020 for you. On that day, where are you going to be at? What's your revenue going to be at? What's your profit going to be? And what are the actual details to get there? Detail it out. You're going to be at this, you're going to be doing this, you're going to have this many connections. One of ours is in 3 years, we want to impact 20,000 people by then. And what that impact means is, could be by speaking engagements, could be our conversations, whatever it is, we want to impact 20,000 people. Now we're working towards that. We're impacting a bunch of people today. So every day we wake up, we're looking at that big goal, and then we break it down as well into the 1 year. What is our 1-year goal? So go through this worksheet, really spend some time on it. Get your team involved in it. Have conversations with them as well. Okay, here's the fun one. We've talked about everything before this: the 3 HAG, 1 HAG, the core focus, the vision. You've got the people aligned. Now what? What do you have to do in the next 90 days to make this happen for you? Again, what does your revenue look like? What does your profit look like? What does it actually feel like 90 days from now? And list out 5 to 7 things that you must do. And these are the must-dos. These are the shiny objects. You've got to do these to get to the next level. The business has to happen. Don't worry about how. Don't worry about what it's going to look like. Our next section is going to talk to you about all the issues are. But just list out everything you think you need to do, and you need to do them. Okay? And this is what we talk about. It's a 90-day world. So we started breaking this. The EOS methodology is about every 90 days you're revisiting where you're at, so you can hit your 3-year pictures and your 1-year pictures. So to really crystallize what your rocks look like for the next 90 days. Issues are always fun. I always call it a therapeutic white couch syndrome, lay down on the couch syndrome, where just take everything out of your head, write everything down, no matter what it is. It could be people, it could be cash, it could be whatever that's in your way right now. Put it all down. Then we started talking about how do you get some of these things out of the way. And you list these issues out, you talk to your team, you figure out what the next issues are. And as we get further into this conversation, part of the traction model is to have meetings, and a big portion of your meetings are going to be dealing with these issues. You're not throwing shiny objects into your daily routine now. You're just dealing with the issues that are in the way to get to your big focus. Okay. So that's the vision, the 8 questions. Once you get those 8 questions taken care of, that takes care of all of the vision aspect of it. People aligned, we're going to talk about that next. But your core focus, your core values are all detailed out. You've shared it with everybody else. You're all living it now. The only way you live that is through conversations, through detailed planning, and going through a VTO like this. You want to talk about that at all? No, you're good? Okay. The next, so that was our passion there. Now it's the people. We talked about every business. We all have that issue right now. We've got low talent. We're trying to explore talent. We're trying to find talent. Let's just take it a step back. It's about, let's find the right people on the right seats. We talk about good to great. Jim Collins, he's got the On the Bus project. If you look at your seats right now, look at your people that you have, list them all out, list out all the seats you need. You've got your leaders, you've got your middle management, you've got your operations people, list them all out. List out all the positions you think you need for your business. There is 3 major seats in a company. And I break this down into So move down here. Break this down into sales and marketing. We call it operations. We call it finance. Now, these could all get split into a couple of different ones. Operations could get into two different operations. It could be internal operations. It could be service delivery operations. Sales and marketing could get broken into two. But if you have these three main components of your business laid out, and you've got the right people leading those, this is not an org chart. We don't recommend an org chart. We talk about an accountability chart. So who is accountable for the sales and marketing? Who's accountable for operations? And who's accountable for finance? What happens from these three accountabilities is that the next person that comes in is the integrator. We used to call the integrator the operations officer, the general manager, but we use the term integrator. He or she integrates the major functions of the business. This is how you get the right people to do in the right seats, doing the right job, and making sure that they're all accountable for it. So this person here, possibly not the owner, most likely it's the second in charge who understands the day-to-day operations and who understands all three subcomponents, but not really handling it on a day-to-day basis. They've got the right leaders dealing with it. Now, we may have some small companies online right now that are saying, okay, how do I only have 4 people in the company? How do I have 4 seats? Well, you don't have to at that point. You just have to make sure that you've got the right accountability and the right people doing the right job. You may be in multiple seats, that's okay, but as you build your company, start looking at this accountability chart to make sure that you're building for the right people. The next person at the top is the visionary. The visionary could be the owner, doesn't have to be, but sometimes, most likely it is the owner. He or she is a person that's out there looking at the big pictures, big ideas, looking at the shiny objects. Now, the shiny objects come in, looks at different aspects of what's happening. How do I grow the business? What do I need to do? That's great, but that person has to work with the integrator. You've got to be aligned because the integrator actually makes that decision to say, you know what, visionary, we can't do this right now. It's not part of our plan. I'm going to take that idea, put it aside because we don't have the bandwidth to handle it right now. But let the visionary create what they do. That's how you grow your business. Nothing wrong with that. You just have to be aligned. You have to have a weekly meeting with the visionary and integrator to make sure you're totally aligned. You want to say on that?
About that particularly?
Yeah.
No, I think that covers it. Is just basically your visionary is the one that's got the great ideas always coming to them, and the integrator is an implementer. Fundamentally, you should identify for yourself whether you're a visionary or an integrator. A lot of businesses will have visionaries, but what they really need is integrators. You don't necessarily need a visionary, but you do need an integrator. You need a doer. You need somebody that can manage the tasks of fulfilling what's happening. The visionary is often very much more into the big picture, the philosophy, what the approach, and the integrator is like, how do we get it done?
Yeah, and we're going to send you a tool called GWC, and the G stands for the people get it, you get the culture. The W is the willing to work that culture, willing to work at the company, and the C is capacity. You got to have all three. You've got to have the capacity to make sure you're able to do the job. You've got to understand the culture. We have a couple of issues here. You've got the right person with your values. They're aligned with your values, but they're in the wrong seat. They're doing the wrong job. Or you've got the right seat. You've got the right person, but you've got the right talent. They understand. They've got the capacity, but they just don't fit the culture. They're not culture-based. They're not fitting into your need, but yet you're keeping them because they're a good revenue generator. At the end of the day, they're not going to work out for you. Make that change. Don't hang on to it. They're doing more damage than good. Okay. So that's the vision and people. The data side of things is called a scorecard. We recommend. We're going to send you a link for that as well. But it's a 13-week picture of what your main metrics are. Now, it doesn't have to be revenue, but it can be. Our scorecard consists of how many impacts we've made over the month and over the weeks. So if we see that on week 4 and week 5, our impacts have dropped, we catch it right away. We don't wait till the 13th week to say, uh-oh, we didn't hit our goal of our targets that we wanted to hit. So you catch it before it actually happens. So your scorecard could be impacts, could be what are the measurables are, number of sales, your financials, your goals for the week, but it gives you a nice big 13-week picture of that. That's again shareable with everybody who's accountable for that area as well, and then set up the measurables as well for that. And we'll send you some of that as well. This all tied in together, like this entire section above, the little pie there, the vision, the people, and the data, this is what creates culture. Having these three things aligned, there's accountability, there's conversations happening, and you're actually creating the culture, the cohesiveness, and easy conversations within your company. Now it's the issues. We talk about strong vision. You've got the people. You're able to have talk about all the issues you've got, but you also have to now really identify what the issues are. You can discuss them. No politics. Don't get too caught up on what's happening or why it's happening. A lot of us forget the last one, which is solving the actual issue. Identify it, you discuss it, you write it down, and now you find a way of solving it. And the best solution is to making sure whoever is giving you that issue, get them to come up with a solution for it. And then you have a communal conversation about that and make sure that the entire company is behind it, and you've got the strong vision of the people, and you're able to have these transparent talks. Okay. Processes are interesting. Unless you're an ISO 9000 certification company, don't get overburdened on creating 100% of your processes. What I really recommend is look at your main processes and have 20% of the processes documented. Things like your HR process, your marketing process, your sales, your operating, your accounting, your customer service. If you have a line of business application, in the IT world, we have something called ConnectWise or RMM tools. Whatever those tools are, whatever your line of business application is, you may need to go more than 20%. And I recommend you do that for your line of business things, but not for all your overall processes. Have them documented, share them, but build on those as you need them. Don't get too caught up on having 100% of that. It's just not going to make a difference. You're going to keep on documenting, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay. So the last section here is the traction. And the traction, you look at it from Thomas Edison. It says, vision without execution is hallucination. So your rocks, your top 3 to 5 90-day must-dos, your company rocks, once you've got those, you actually break those down into your individual personal rocks, because without those, you're not going to be able to achieve your big rocks. Okay? And then we have something called the level 10 meeting. And the level 10 meeting, I'm just going to see if you guys can see this. Every week, you have a 90-minute meeting, and it's just a recap. You review your scorecard. You look at your rocks. You look at your customer and employee headlines, make sure that there's any issues with customers or any employee bonuses or employee kudos you've got to do. You do that there. And then you talk about your to-do list, and then 60 minutes of that, 90 minutes, is spent on your issues. And it's not about talking more about your issues, what you have, it's about how you're solving these issues. You pick your top 3 for the week, and you start looking at how are you resolving them, putting a plan in place to resolve them. Next week, make sure that they're resolved, or they're resolved to a percentage of what they're supposed to be at. You may have a very large issue you need to work with. It'll take 90 days. That's fine. But every week, you're hitting you're chipping away at it, making sure that they're actually getting done.
So just another thing about the issues. Yeah. So in our experience, my experience, one of the big missings in most companies is the fact that the employees don't have an opportunity to contribute to the company. It just smaller companies, it's a bit easier, because if the owner or manager is friendly, then the employees feel that they can make recommendations. But as the larger you get, the more distant the employees feel from contributing to the company and its operations. So the issues also creates a really cohesive environment to say everybody's contribution is valuable. What are our problems? How can we make things better? And if you're dealing with employee retention or having a positive cultural workspace, or having engaged employees that want to be there, show up on time, and do what they're expected to do. A big access point to having that is allowing them to contribute to the operations of the company and make things better. And the issues and having the meetings where they get to contribute, where their voices get to be heard, solutions get to be presented, and then the key part is actually implementing those solutions. If you don't actually do anything, then you're going to actually have more trouble than it's worth, because it's going to fall apart on you. So once you do come up with some solutions, you're going to have to implement those solutions. Otherwise, you're going to create a resentment. So you want to keep doing that. But that's a critical component. We're trying to give you as much as you can, so that if you were to just implement this one section and start having issues meetings, which should be, what's the issue? Okay, now that we got the issue, let's talk about solution. What's the solution? Have solution recommendations. That'll go a long way to moving things up in your business.
Yeah, and then the execution is a solution as well. A lot of companies will go through having that conversation and sitting there and saying, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and all of a sudden, 3 months later, those issues are still there. They haven't made an impact at all. Now you lose you lose employee retention, you lose that trust with the employees of saying, hey, why are we having these conversations? Nothing actually getting done.
Right.
You actually make sure that you get something done with those issues. This is not about an individual doing it all. As you can imagine, running this EOS model, running any business, it's not one person. The leader or the owner or the general manager is the key person. We get that, but the people below you have to be cohesive, understand it, and the only way you'll get a buy-in is making sure you follow these 6 processes. Having the right people, making sure you actually have the vision and core values in place. This is why we call this the actual EOS model. You've got to have all 6 key components. Forget about the 100 things that you're working on. They're important, but they're not going to make you where you want to go at. Break it down to these 6 things, and you're going to go further ahead.
Yeah. So, and then just to sum all that up, as we complete talking about the 6 areas, part of the intention here is to not just go through all the points about these areas quickly and give you a bunch of information, but it's to highlight the fact that, okay, if you're on the call and you're thinking, okay, well, where am I at in the vision section? Where am I at in the people section? Where am I at doing the issues? Where am I at in traction? Where am I at with my processes? Where am I at with my measurable data that my employees are accountable for reaching every day, every week, every 3 months, every quarter? Where am I at in each one of these issues? And if you were to rate yourself 50%, 20%, 10%, 80%, then you have an access point to, where do I need to go to work? Do I need to go to work in the vision? Is that really happening in my company? A lot of the time it's not, so I got to go to work on that. Do we have a good scorecard? Do we have proper processes in place? Are we working on the big picture rocks and goals? Like, do we have traction on where we're headed? Or are we just putting out fires every day and just dealing with the day-to-day email list that just comes in? Are we talking about our issues and resolving issues to create a better work environment, better experience for our customers? And do we have the right people? If you're listening to this call and you got triggered by the people one, and there's somebody you got to let go, or you got to have a conversation or work things out, hopefully you got an access to see, I need to work on this area, I need to work on this area, I need to work on this area, and so there's something to go to work on as we leave the call.
Yeah, and saying that, one of the things that I know I used to do is, when I used to look at webinars or read books, is get excited all about it, and then they say, oh, how do I implement this? Our promise to you is that if you're doing your VTO sheet, you're doing your people section or your data section or your vision section, and you're having a challenge, reach out to us. We're here to help you. Whatever it takes, we want to make sure that you're successful in what you're doing. The book Traction is huge. And we're going to talk a little bit about what our process is and how we move forward from this. And we talked about this information meeting. There's a lot of information we're giving to you. We're 52 minutes into it. It's an 8-hour session, but down to 52 minutes. So I totally understand if you haven't grasped everything. We're hoping you got something out of it. But as we move forward, What happens at this point? We'll talk a little bit about our proven process and what seems to work. What we'd love to do with you guys is have a conversation about what you're running into and see if we can help you out with some of those things. We can talk about the proven process.
Great, yeah. So our proven process and the model that we follow that works is our goal is to educate you in running your business from these 6 areas such that you can then take it away and do it on your own. And the process in that is that we have a focus day where we go through a big chunk of material and we get you running, get you started to hit the ground running on these aspects in your company right away. And then after the focus day, 30 days later, we have the 2-day vision building. So the 2-day vision building is where we really create that foundation. So we get you running, get things running well and get you moving, and then we do a real foundation structure building of your company so that then it's all set up. You have all the tools that you need. You have all the information that you need to then take it and run with it and implement this whole deal into your business. After that, we have quarterly meetings. You have quarterly meetings ongoingly, but we work with you on these quarterly meetings for a year and an annual planning meeting at the end of it. And by that point, we leave you, and I mean, you can keep working with us on a quarterly basis, but basically you should be at the point where you're free to run this, own this, and totally have these key principles in your business and rocking. The foundation is there and you're good to go.
Okay, thanks, Conrad. So, that concludes our conversation. To get some of the links, please send an email to success@dantegroup.ca to get some of these things. We have the BTO sheet, the people analyzer, a score sheet, a meeting pulse. Send that out to us. If you have any questions, please add it onto the chat window now. We'll get back. We'll start answering them. One of the things I want to talk a little bit further about is where we saw the biggest change in all the companies we've worked with is really identifying the visionary and the integrator. Once we had that defined, the company was actually able to succeed because they had the core values in place. Some of you're thinking back to, how do I do this? What's the next step? Reach out to us. We'll have a conversation. I'll do a one-on-one phone call with you guys to talk about that. 10:55. If there's no questions out there, we're gonna respect your time and call it a day. We're gonna stay online. Please feel free to leave, but we're gonna stay online till about 11. And if you have any questions, let us know. Other than that, have a great afternoon, and hope you got something out of this. At the end of the day, pick up the book Traction and let us know if there's anything we can do to help you out. Conrad, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your time, everybody. Again, questions, we'll answer them. Other than that, thank you very much.
Have a great day.